Your Overwatch rank is everything. It defines who you are as a person. It defines your social class. It affects your feeling of self-worth. And as somebody who has been every rank in the game at one point, I think I'm qualified to tell you what your Overwatch rank says about you. Meow. Starting off with bronze. If you're a bronze player, you need to lay off the za. Put down the Modelo. We need to be sober Samuel if we want to get out of bronze. Listen, I don't condone smurfing, but I've maybe taken a safari back down there in recent years. None of them are sober. It all makes sense. You know why there's so many leavers in bronze? It's not because they give up, it's because they black out. Now, with all that being said, bronze is S tier. By the way, we're ranking them based on how fun they are to play in. Bronze players know how to have a good time. Next up is platinum. Plat players are at the peak of Mount Stupid on the Dunning-Kruger curve. Plat players think they know how the game works, but they're all wrong. But they're all really confidently wrong, and they're arguing with each other about it. And they're mashing their wrong ideas together, and then they flame each other while both being wrong. They're also very delusional. Plat players, if you're plat, you probably think you get bad teammates. For whatever reason, you think that like out of all the tens, hundreds of thousands of people in the matchmaker, you think it's singling you out specifically and giving you a bad teammate. I got news for you. You are the bad teammate. You are the bad teammate. Plat players are delusional. D for delusional. Plat is not fun to play in plat. Next up is GM. If you're GM, you're unemployed. Look to the bottom right of your desk on the floor. There's an empty DoorDash bag. It's been there for about 3 days. Pick it up, clean it, get put in the trash. A lot of mid-rank players or like lower rank players think that GM is like paradise, where you're hanging out with your favorite streamer and kicking it with Frogger and Aspen all the time. That's not true. There's still dickheads in GM. However, I'll be honest, it is better because there's at least accountability, right? If you're in plat and you flame somebody, you're probably never gonna see him again. So people just flame all the time. They don't really care. In GM, you're gonna see him again. It's kind of a small world. So people still flame anyways, but they at least have a little bit of like, they have a reputation to uphold. On top of that, gameplay-wise, people are a little bit more reliable. There's still shitty one tricks. None of that goes away. It's not as good as you probably think, but it is better. I'll put it in A tier. Gold. If you're gold, you're like a helpless baby lamb. It's the middle rank. This is the average player, right? If you're gold, probably play pretty casually. You're a big fan of the lore, big lore head. Your aim's probably horrible. Movement, not great. I feel like gold players, they like to panic, right? There's so much going on in Overwatch, and they're not really used to it. So they'll panic. They'll swing their mouse everywhere. They'll just randomly use cooldowns. There's so much going on. They're not really able to like think about what they're doing. They're kind of the plat players before they develop like the weird ego. Maybe a little less toxic than plat. We'll put it in C. Diamond. If you're in diamond, you might be missing your frontal lobe. If you watch a diamond player's gameplay, for the first like 30 to 45 seconds, they'll look pretty good. They'll kind of look like they know what's going on. Movement's alright, aim's pretty good. Like you can be like, this could be like a high masters player. But then every 45 to 60 seconds, it's like something goes off in their brain. They have an int timer. It's a beep, beep, beep. Oh, got a feed. And they just make like an unexplainable, like unforced blunder. It's every diamond player. And if they just didn't do that, they would be like close to GM. But they can't help it. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if maybe they're on the ZA like the bronze players. Maybe they're missing some brain matter. I don't know what's happening. Maybe a bit flip caused something in their keyboard. Yeah, diamond players are really, really, really stupid. Also pretty toxic as well. They're going D tier next to plat. Not a fun rank to play in. Champion. If you're in champion, you're like Sisyphus, pushing the rock. For whatever reason, getting to GM, being the top 1% wasn't enough. You had to become the top 0.1%. Champion, it's not even fun. Playing in champion is just stressful. When plat players complain about getting worse teammates, that's what it's actually like in champion. Because there's no such thing as a champ lobby. So enemy team's GM, you're champion, and you get a bunch of masters players to compensate, and you have to carry them. That's champion. Now with that being said, when your rank is bubblegum pink, you're on top of the world. You're happy. Your self-worth is at an all-time high. But it's still pretty stressful to play in. We're putting in C. Masters. Masters players, they're useless. They're the most useless humans on Earth. These are people who have the same playtime as GM, the same playtime, but for some reason, there's something holding them back. There's something wrong with them. Usually they one-trick shitty heroes. That's what you see a lot in Masters, right? It's a high rank. Everyone is kind of knows what they're doing, but you have a lot of people who like hinder themselves. Like they'll one-trick like Mercy or Lifeweaver. Or there's a lot of like Doom one-tricks who aren't like actually good at Doom, not good enough to get into GM. And they always make excuses for themselves. Like, oh, it's just my bad hero. Even those people who play their one-trick in GM, and they think they think they deserve GM so much, but anytime they get pulled into a GM lobby, they shit their pants. And they can't even pull their own weight. And they throw the game. Masters players are completely useless. I hate them. If you're Masters, I don't like you. I'm just kidding, that's mean. F tier. If you're silver, if you're in silver, you're just a little bit sad, right? You were in bronze, right? Maybe you stopped your alcoholism. You're like, you know what? I'm gonna walk in. I'm gonna get out of bronze. But now you're just silver. You don't really feel much better, and I don't know. It's just kind of a forgettable rank. If you're in silver, you're probably not very comfortable with the controls. Maybe you're like new to keyboard and mouse or something like that. You're still getting the hang of things, but you know what? You got this. I'll put it in C tier, next to gold. I think they're pretty similar rank. And that's it for the Overwatch rank tier list. Let me know what I missed. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video. Follow me on twitch.tv/chosen_W. I'm live every night. Appreciate you stopping by, ask any questions. And yeah, I'll see you guys soon.